Welcome to Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerantz. Thank you so much for joining us again. Our guest is Randy Reinholz. He's a director, professor at San Diego State University in theater and film, but he's also doing some amazing work here in the Los Angeles area with the Autry. It's called Native Voices at the Autry. Randy, thanks so much for joining us. Before we talk about Native Voices, tell me about your background. You're Choctaw.
Thanks, Brad. Enrolled member of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, and lived some in Oklahoma in the summer times, lived in Missouri, born in St. Louis, but mostly rural, some in the Ozarks, some in Texas, some in North Dakota.
Now, let me ask you though, I mean, I look at you, you got great hair, blue eyes, doesn't really seem like you'd be a Native American, but because of the experience of Native Americans, how does one get blue eyes with being Native American?
Part of the diaspora, right? I mean, everybody's, people going around, so I'm German, I'm Irish, and my grandmother, who was Choctaw, told most of the stories that stuck.
So let's talk about the stories, because that really is what you're doing at Native Voices at the Autry, is telling those stories, which are so critical and vital to the American experience. Tell us.
That's true, because a lot of times we talk about being American and we don't really know what it means, and it's a complicated history.
I mean, German, Irish, Polish, Russian, I mean, we've been here for a minute. Native Americans have been here for millennia.
Right. And you know, we started this in 1993. We had 2 plays by Native Americans you could purchase in this country. Now we have 200. So, you know, you think, well, big difference 20 years has made. We've done 14 productions. One of our processes, we've always chosen to work at a very professional level, so we've always had equity contracts, so the actors get paid at a real rate. It's not great, but you know
they
what?
Deserve it.
We were actors. My wife, Jean Bruce Scott, who's my partner in this work, and I were actors, and we thought, you know, actors often get the short end of the stick, so we'll start there.
Talk to me about how we can go see some of these performances, because that's really why I wanted you to join us. Is I want people to get a sense of what great work you're doing and the Autry is doing.
I think it's also something people from Los Angeles should be proud of.
No doubt.
This work is starting here, and it's starting to move around the country. So the Autry's over there by the zoo. We usually produce twice a year. This is Native American Month, November.
Okay.
So some stuff that just happened last weekend.
Okay.
And then we've got a big production coming up in March, the Fry Bread Queen. So the month of March it runs. We just did that show in Montana with Montana Rep. And that was really fantastic, because we had 9 communities within driving distance, 9 Native American communities. And we had such a great Native audience that came out to see the show. They emailed us, they wrote, they were really grateful. So we've got another project we're cooking up with Montana.
Talk to me about kind of the themes that we see in all these plays, performances. I mean, like you said, 13 world premieres. Tell me what can we glean from this?
I think there's been an evolution of themes. So in the beginning there was a lot of rape and abuse. The themes that were part of the story, the larger narrative. Then it was about who's really Native, your question a little bit earlier, and with casino money coming into play, a lot of people are really positioning for that. And now there's a lot more deeper exploration of family stories. The last few years we've been seeing more stories about Native violence on Native people, which you see in reservation life sometimes, and in urban communities sometimes. So we as Native people have to learn to be really good and champions of each other.
I have to ask you, I mean, you are someone who is Native, but don't appear to be as such on the surface. So talk to me about that dichotomy for yourself. That's got to be kind of an interesting dilemma.
Yes. You know, I started as an actor, and I was never cast, and nor would I be as a Native person.
Sure.
Then when I started becoming a university professor, people would ask about, could you help us find Native plays, non-Western theater, that sort of thing. And that led me into this really wonderful revelation of what's going on around the country. You know, I think I hear both sides of the prejudice.
I get it. Randy, you're a good man. Thank you so much for joining us. Native Voices at the Autry. Be sure to go see some of these performances. They're very telling. I'm Brad Pomerantz. Back to HLN.
It's not just a tin of sardines. It's a sea captain gone overboard in dire straits. It's not just a jar of peanut butter. It's a crazy nut running from the law in a small Texas town. It's not just a can of alphabet soup. It's a high-speed car chase that spells disaster. Bring 4 non-perishable food items to your local charter office and get a coupon for an on-demand movie. It's not just food, it's flicks. Plus, enter for a chance to win the ultimate HD TV package. Get movies for food with Charter and help your community.